Alright, so the other day I did a video on how to make a forager's bag. I basically saw one on a local well-known e-commerce site, and I said I can make that. So I just looked at it, and luckily they had some pictures kind of showing some dimensions and just different ways of how it's kind of constructed. And I said, okay, let me give this a try, reconstruct it. So I kind of came up with my own version. In that video I showed how to make it so that you have the leather part and the bag part here that would be fixed to the bag. In this version, it's laced in, okay, and so I've got some cordage here. You still have the belt strap here, so you can still attach it to your belt, but basically you can undo this, and this is just tied in there. And so, especially for this type of bag that's untreated and is a lighter color, if I'm out foraging, harvesting berries especially, I mean, they'll probably stain it to where it doesn't matter how much you wash it, there'll still be some color there. But at least I can take it off of the leather here and wash it, put it through the washing machine, or I can mend this or swap it out with a larger bag or a different bag, or even swap it out with a different strap or a longer strap or whatever. So in this video I'm going to show just basically some of the modifications on how to do that version. I think is a little bit more practical. There's a few more steps to it, and so that's where I'm making this video, to kind of fill it up. Here's the version that I've just made that we're gonna make, and again, same thing on the back. It's strapped in. We've got the straps for the belt, and the difference is that the buttons here, I have the caps showing. On this one here, which would be the male part, it's kind of unsightly just because of the way it's shaped differently. So I just put the cap instead of the flat part for the male part. So again, when we undo it, this bag has been dyed with black walnut and has been treated. It's with beeswax, so it's to be water resistant, and I'm not really so much worried about keeping it clean, nor would I want to put it through the washing machine. So, but in this particular case, I did make it so that it could be detached from the strap here, in case I want to swap it out, or if I do need to mend it or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and make this. I'm just going to show how to do the modifications so that you can make it this type of forager's bag, so that you can detach it from the strap, and that's about it. I'm not going to go through the whole process. That's another video. I will most likely attach the links below so that you can check those out if you're interested. This is just kind of an extra, or just to kind of catch up. Oh, this button here is just so that it's out of the way when it's fully deployed, like that. So it's out of the way, and it's still attached to your belt, and that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and let's make this version of the forager's bag. Alright, so here is the it's stained and sort of tie-dyed with black walnut, and I treated it with wax, so it's waxed canvas, and this is going to be the outside. And I didn't have enough canvas, or I didn't want to waste canvas by trying to put the bottom on the fold, and like I said, you don't have to do that always. So I just cut two identical pieces, and here I just stitched the bottom together. So we're going to try to make this so that we can swap the bag out, or we can change it to wash it if necessary. This is waxed, and it's already kind of got a stain on it, and we won't necessarily need to do that, but I'm just going to do this variation on this one anyways. So here's the pattern that we're going to be using, and there's a number of holes here. And this here will be the top. So this will be the top button. This will be the top button up here. This would be, this would be the top snap. This would be the other snap here in the middle for this variation. If we were going to make this solid, if we were going to set the strap solidly into the bag, then we would only need these two holes here for the grommets, and then this for the snap. So it would be these three that we'd only really need to worry about as far as fastening the strap to the bag. But we're going to ignore this one, and we're going to use this hole, and we're going to use this hole on the bottom. We've got a bottom one here for the snap. Now we've got 4 holes here, 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 and here. These are the ones that we're going to focus on, that are going to be our fastening snaps, or excuse me, grommets, eyelets. Okay, here and here on the outside, here and here on the outside. These 4 holes here will be for our belt slit. Okay, but for now what we're focusing on is just these 4 on the outside of our pattern. So I'm going to set the pattern aside, and what I want to do is I want to go ahead and take our bag, and I'm going to flip it so that it is right side out. Make sure everything is even. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, we got a nice dynamic pattern here on the outside. And so what we would do here is for our strap is we would fold it in on itself, and it's kind of hard to kind of keep these together. There we go. Normally you could pin these, but once this is wax, it's a little hard to pin. You could probably use some clips or clothespins to keep everything together. But we're just going to tri-fold this to get more or less the center. And you may have to finagle this a little bit just to make sure everything folds correctly, and it's about right. Okay. So this will work right about here. I'm going to flip it over. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fold it up like so. Okay. So this is how it would be folded when not in use on your belt clip. Okay. So just like that. So I'm gonna, let's see, this is the back, this would be the front. So this is where you would sight in where your holes would go. So if we were going to fix this bag onto the strap, like I said, we'd use this one, and this one. This would be a snap, and these 2 would be eyelets or grommets. And the snap would be below our drawstring casing stitch. We don't want it on the stitch, on the casing itself. Okay, but we're going to make this so that we can interchange it or take it off. So I'm going to move this up a little bit and eyeball and make sure it's center. And all I need to do is take my coloring pencil, and these 4 here, I'm going to just kind of mark in on the outside markings where they would go. Okay. So That's on the outside. Here, here. Match these up. Sometimes it's a little hard to see, so we'll get a different color. Make sure my holes are aligned, and I'll use a different color here and a different color here. My lighting in this room isn't the best, so I'll have to make do with what I got. But maybe you can see it, maybe you cannot. But I can see him here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that makes sure that once we've fashioned our leather, that we will be able to fasten this on here. So we will need to put eyelets in here. Okay, so that will be the next step. Okay, we've marked in where our eyelet or grommet holes will go into, and what we need to do is I'm going to open this up, and this is the reason why we didn't sew the bag together all the way, is it just makes it a little harder to get at these and set the eyelets. Okay, so basically what you can do, or what I will do, is I'm going to take an awl or a sharp piece or a blade and just kind of poke or start the holes where I've marked them. Okay, and then what I can do is I have a sharpened chopstick or another tool, bigger awl, that'll just kind of go through and widen the hole for me, because the grommets have a post on them that is bigger than what I'm able to make safely with my awl there. It'll kind of cut the fabric. So I'm just going to kind of force the holes to be the size that I need. Okay, so hopefully you can see that there, they're set in. And then what I need is my setter and anvil. So here's my anvil, here's my setter. Now this type of anvil for these eyelets has a little groove, has a groove in there, or indentation, so that the eyelets kind of round nicely instead of flatten. Sometimes when they flatten, what will happen is that they will then the hole will be smaller. Okay, so I've got a bag of eyelets here. I'm going to squeeze out 4 of them, because that's what I need right now. And so basically, so again, this is the outside. I want the big side out, and so I can kind of pop these through the hole here. And if they don't fit, then again I can take my tool here and widen the hole until I can get the eyelet all the way through safely, just like so. Okay, so then next I can take my anvil. Oops, that fell out. I can set this back in, and I can take the anvil and I can set the eyelet into the groove on the anvil. Take my setter that has a nipple that goes into this circle of the post, and I go ahead and tap this down with some nice sharp wax, and that'll pin everything down and keep the hole nice and open. And so I want this on the outside, so this will be the outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this for the rest of these. Probably don't need to watch me go through each one of them, but that's just kind of what's happening here. This next step. Always want to sheathe your sharp implements. And, okay, so I have my grommets in that should match my holes for when I'm ready to attach my strap with cordage, so that it can be tied in and untied as I see fit. Alrighty, so we're ready to attach our strap to our bag. And again, for this one I just did some embellishments, kind of rough, little leaf motif at the bottom there, just some whimsy there. Anyways, I've got some buckskin cordage here that we're going to lace this into. So essentially what we'll want to do is we will want to go from the inside, and I'm going to start from the bottom hole, okay, and then come up to the bottom hole on this side here, and then I want to go on this side up to this hole, and then through the top hole in the bag, and then with the other string do the same thing. I want to go through the bottom hole in the bag and the bottom hole in the strap. So we basically have something that looks like this, and then I want to go up through the top hole in the strap, the top hole in the bag, and then I'm going to adjust the length of the cordage so that we have an even amount. About an even amount here, a little bit more. And that should be about right. Okay. And then what we can do up top here is we can just tie this. Okay. And I may do actually a double overhand like that. Make sure that's securely on here like that. Can make these flat if I want to. Not a big deal, nobody will see it. And then just tie a bow in here. And then for security, you could do a double bow in there if you'd like. But for now, this is how it's attached. And it's on there. So if we were to put it all together, you'd fold it in on itself, the bag. Could tuck this drawstring inside here so it's hidden. Cover this up here like so. Fold this up like that. And then this should meet right here in the middle. And then we've got everything all nice and compact and ready to attach onto a belt loop. Okay, like so. And then when we're ready to deploy or open our bag, unsnap it, our bag unfolds. This would be still attached to our belt loop. We would be able to secure this by snapping it to itself there, so it's out of the way, and then we have our bag all set and open. So it's just one way to make this so that we can swap this out, or if I needed to clean this for some reason or repair it, I can take this, I can unlace it and do what I need to do with just the bag or the separate pieces, or if this gets ruined or broken. Okay. One thing to note is this strap here. I did the caps just because it's a little bit more appealing than the back end of this here. on the top here. But the seat, if you choose to do this, the seat goes here, and then the cap, or the male part, however you want to call it, will fold onto itself, and they will snap to lock. Or then when, again, like I said, when we're ready to hide this or put this away, we can just fold everything up and then snap this to the bottom, just like so. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's the modifications I made, little clarifications, and I was able to shore up my pattern. So I'll try to make an upload of that, or excuse me, a download of that, and it should work out for most of you. Again, you don't have to do this embellishment thing. I'm just playing around with some leather working, but there you go.